My name is Francesca Accinelli, and I am the Director of Promotions and Communications at Telephone Canada. And I will be presenting, CoPro 101. And then I've got lovely colleagues over here, Natalie Clermont, who will then continue in terms of the Canada Media Fund. And Marlo will then actually speak about how it actually works, the real life true story of doing co-productions, and probably completely rip apart everything that we've been doing, and we should fix it. So this is a good discussion. So let's start. I got my clicker. If those of you who know me know that I was probably out until 4. All right, so a big thing that we want the world to know is that we are a partner of choice. As many of you know, how many of you are not Canadian in this room? Pretty good, great. Say hello to the Canadians next to you and make it cool. So, for those of you who don't know, we have 10 provinces, 3 territories, and 36 million people, all who will be watching the Raptors tonight. 6 time zones, 2 official languages, as that amazing video talked about. And we have nearly 60 countries that have co-production treaties and memorandums of understanding with Canada. There's a long list there. We will make this presentation, so don't feel like you have to take pictures. We can make this presentation available to everybody after. So, as you know, those of you that are Canadians, we have so much to offer. Financing, tax credits, world-renowned locations, expertise, numerous resources that can help you get to work. We have it all. I think a big part of what Canada has to offer is the diversity that we have in terms of linguistic cultures, in terms of our locations. Our crews are, I will say, the best in the world. And we are a place that people do want to come and collaborate. And when you come and collaborate with Canada, there are so many different ways that you can access financing. The other thing I do want to talk about, for those of you who aren't familiar with, I guess it was an announcement 2 years ago, Canada also became the first non-EU country to join Eurimage, which is this amazing funding body in Europe. So they're, punching above our weight. So in the last year and a half that we've been a member, we've actually had 10 projects be selected through Eurimage, and it really helps to propel the financing of our feature films. Feature films, which is my passion, they need all the help and the support and the financing we get, so this is a great way for us to find that diversity in financing. So quickly how it works. So you have Telephone Canada, so we'll have an amazing team based in Montreal that can answer all of your treaty co-production needs. They can talk to you specifically about different treaties with different countries, what's possible, what's not possible. We then make recommendations to our partner and our benevolent funder, the Ministry of Canadian Heritage. And then from that, I don't know how many colleagues I have from CAVCO, I think they're hiding, but our colleagues from CAVCO do all the heavy lifting in terms of releasing those tax credits for that joyous production that you'll have in place. So who are we? For those of you who aren't familiar, Telefilm Canada is a Crown agency. We're supported by, as I said, the Ministry of Ministry of Heritage. And our main priority is to foster the development of the Canadian ecosystem. And we do that in many different ways, but primarily because I'm here to talk about co-productions, we are trying to ensure that we can make Canadians be present more and more on the international stage. So we curate and stage we put Canada on the map at places like MIPCOM and MIPTV, Cannes, Berlinale, any of the major kids screen, it goes on and on. And we partner as often as we can with our colleagues at the Canada Media Fund. Because if you're not in those places, you're not meeting these partners, then I'm not sure you're going to get the deals that you need to get. And that's really the first part of the leg of what you need to do in terms. You need to find someone who's going to love your story as much as you love your story, or find someone who's got a great story and you have the skill set, the location, the expertise to make that story happen. We have 4 offices across Canada. So Montreal is our head office, Toronto, that's where I'm from, Halifax, and Vancouver. I won't talk about Toronto again, or the Raptors. But did someone go, yes, don't? Enough, Toronto. So another thing that I just really wanted to share with you is the dedication that we have, us and the Canada Media Fund, to ensure that by being a partner of choice, we are ensuring inclusivity. We have a goal of gender parity by 2020. We are finding more and more ways to support our Indigenous creators, and we're ensuring that we are discovering diverse voices across Canada. And Canada is an amazing place to be able to find those voices. We just need to be much more active about where and how we're engaging with those voices and ensure that they actually have the talent and the talent development to be able to be successful in those marketplaces. And the other thing that I love is that Canada now is so unique in the world. You know, I feel like we're the only country where all of the cultures are their own cultures at the same time as being Canadian. And unlike, I'm part American, so I'm not going to trash talk too much, but my family in the States, there's much more of a homogenization of it. And I'm really proud that in Canada, we see this beautiful kind of celebration of the uniqueness of the voices that we have here. The other thing I quickly want to I won't dwell too much because I know you want me to get on to the nitty gritty, but another part in terms of our gender parity is we actually set about to create a 5-point plan. And that came from working groups all across Canada. And for us, visibility, transparency, and access to the programs is paramount, because without that, women are not going to be taking the stage, well, though we're all women right now, that's kind of great, taking the stage the way they need to. All right. We have a couple of other programs to help you get into the market. So we have something called the MKI, I almost said it en français, the MKI, which is an international marketing and festival participation program. So you Canadian producers or directors out there, as producers, we will help you get to a number of those different festivals or producer conferences in the globe so you can meet new partners. And we have another one specifically for feature film, which is an export assistance program, which once your film gets a chance to be released theatrically in the world, we're going to help you amplify that, because we want as many people as possible to see your project. We also launched the Rendezvous Canada, RTV Canada website. I guess it's about a year ago. And if you haven't signed up for the infolette, the newsletters, please do. It's kind of your one-stop access to learning about where Canada is in the world. We're consistently doing profiles on different companies so you get more information, and we work more in partnership with the other agencies so that we can better provide you with great news stories that are out there, and also tips in terms of how you might be able to find additional financing. Okay. Does everyone know what a treaty is? Because I'll skip. Does everyone know what a treaty is? It was very quiet. This is a treaty. I'm not going to read all of it, but one of the things I want to talk about is the difference between a treaty and a co-venture. Because one of the biggest questions that we get at Telefilm Canada is, I've got a project I want to do with the United States, so it's a treaty co-production. It's the number one. We do not have a treaty with our friends in the United States, but there are ways that you can do co-ventures to be able to maximize your financing and create a collaborative partnership with the United States. In the co-ventures, you can't access Telefilm's money, you can't access my friend, the Canada Media Fund's money, but there are, I won't get pussy, but you can't access no tax credits even. You can't. It's like a debate. Services. Fine. This is great. I should have just asked you all questions so you could answer it for me. Okay. Fast facts. Over the last 3 years, 150 projects have been recommended. 2/3 TV, 1/3 film. Main partner countries, France and the UK. So if you're in the room, Canada will look to partner with you very quickly. Overall balance between creative and financial contributions is really important. And we have a sensitivity to non-treaty country elements. We understand that when you're trying to make something as marketable as possible, we have to be responsive to some of those needs. We're almost done. Here's a pretty little picture of some of the projects that We financed, well, some of them we did finance, that we've certified over the last couple of years. Ballerina in particular has done incredibly well around the world. Animation is a spectacular Canadian export, and our animators are punching more and more above their weight right now. The Hummingbird Project was Kim Nguyen, who had been nominated for an Oscar for his film Ravel. And if you haven't seen these other, and Vikings, but if you haven't seen them, please go ahead and watch a nice Canadian project. That is the only thing I'm going to ask you to do after this. You go download it on your tablet. If you have to pay, pay. No criminal activities. It must be legitimate. And then really quickly, let me just walk through the two-stage recommendation process, okay? So official co-producers must have acquired the underlying rights to a project and must own and control the exploitation rights. You can go into the treaties, you're going to get more information on the copyright ownership requirements because each treaty is different. If you're applying for our financing, that's through the Canadian Feature Film Fund, you're going to need to have a decision prior to submitting. Because you just follow us and we'll help you through the process. But it's really a shame when people submit to us and then there's sometimes a very lengthy process where you have to go and get all the paperwork together, and it can absolutely impede your start date, your production date, and even your potential financing. So that's one of the tips along the way. The other thing is the best way to move a file is to submit everything all at once. If please, don't go, well, I'll get it to you next week.